Anyway, guys, like, if I speak with my normal voice, it's a lot more gruff, you know, like, yeah, let's go. But in today's video, we are going to be speaking about CN, basically, right? There's a real spate of videos right now from a lot of different creators talking about, like, upcoming units and units that we could expect to get from CN, right? Now, I'm not going to knock anyone's content. If you guys want to, like, make that content, fire away. Get your views, that's how to do it, right? But I'm speaking to you guys as players. You want to be careful with that content. And the reason I say you want to be careful with that content is, so far we've had 2 characters that are not like their Chinese counterpart, right? So we've got Bison and we've got Elena. They've been changed, they've been buffed. They're not representative of what you get from China, right? We've had Ken. Ken is a completely different faction, right? We're going to have Akuma. Akuma is a different faction. Not only is Akuma a different faction, for all we know right now, he's buffed. Or he's debuffed. Well, nerfed. I don't know why I said debuffed, I'm too used to actually playing the game, right? But he could be nerfed, right? So, watching these videos is fine, right? If you enjoy watching them, watch them. But what I don't think you should do is I don't think you should set your expectations on our game based on that. Because going by this game's track record so far, it's batting zero. Like, for comparisons of new units, like, they've got a 0% hit rate on China. Ken, Akuma, totally different, right? So looking at those previews and thinking, oh great, I'm going to get this when it comes out on global, you are literally setting yourself up for disaster, right? Now, those videos are great for some games. Games like Dokkan, games like the Disgaea RPG, which I used to cover. Units will come out on those games exactly the way they are in their Japanese counterpart, okay? Not only will they come out exactly when they are, like they are in their Japanese counterpart, they come out on a schedule. So with the Disgaea, for example, you know that roughly 1 year to the day, global would get what Japan had. In Dokkan, it's about, 6 months? 46 months, I think it is. You know what's coming. So you can save, you can plan, you can do these things. But with a game like this, they've already released characters out of order. Ken should not be here this quickly. We've got Ken out of order. Akuma should not be here as quickly. We've got Akuma out of order. So you can't really use those videos to set your expectations. All you can really do is use those videos to set yourself up for disappointment, because again, we don't have the same game, and this isn't the whole, guys, don't use a different version to, like, compare ourselves against. That's not what that's about. I mean, yeah, if you want to look at that version when a character comes out and goes and think to yourself, wow, he was easier to get on China, he was better on China, or whatever, that's fine. But if you are watching those videos thinking, right, okay, in a month's time, this is the character I should be getting, like maybe there's been a leak that this is the next character on global, and you look at the Chinese videos and you look and you think, oh, this character's this faction, he's got this level of attack, blah blah blah. If they buff that character, if they change that character, you are just going to be disappointed. You're just going to be disappointed. And I'm not saying that every character that comes to global is going to be worse. For all we know, they might take some Chinese characters and make them better, right? I mean, if they make Akuma a master rather than Flame, then for all we know, later down the line, they might take a master that should have been master and turn them to Flame to replace Akuma. Now, it seems unlikely, but we don't know. That's my point I'm trying to make. Like, if we were to look ahead at different characters, you've got characters like Dante. Now, Dante is a legendary character on the Taiwanese version, for example. I'm assuming that means he's probably a legendary in China as well. If you look at someone like Dante and you judge your experience based on what's already out there, when it comes to global, if we have Ken Scenario Mark 2, you're going to be massively, massively disappointed. Now, this video is more geared towards people who want to continue playing the game, right? If you're someone who wants to not enjoy playing the game, if you want to clown on the game, or if you somehow feel trapped in the game because you couldn't get a refund, what I would say to you first of all is, honestly, if you don't like a game, like if you don't like it, the fact that you've spent money on it shouldn't be a reason to keep playing it, right? I say that because, like, I've got a pile of gacha games where I've spent money and I give up on them, because what you're going to do, you've got two choices. You can keep playing a game you don't enjoy and put money into it because you're already predisposed to do that, because technically as soon as you spend your first dollar in a gacha game, this has been like proven through like studies and stuff, as soon as you spend your first dollar in a gacha game, you're more likely to spend more money in future. It's a whole psychological thing. They've done tests on it. That's why they always do these first purchase things that are so fantastic, because once they can break you and you make that first purchase, you are far more likely in future to make more purchases, okay? But if you're playing the game and you do not enjoy it just because you can't get a refund, then cut your losses. Like, honestly, cut your losses, just quit, because you're not going to have more fun going forward. If you do not like the core gameplay, if you do not like what you're getting, then it's not going to change moving forward. And it's better for you if you stop playing now, because that money's not coming back, right? It doesn't suddenly gain more value because you continue playing the game. It's already spent, so it's not going to grow in value by you keep playing the game. I get the logic behind it, but it's just the fact that if you're sticking with it and you don't like it, it is a pointless exercise. But anyway, back to my point. They're going to change characters. They are 100%. They're going to change characters. They're going to change them at their kit level. They're going to change them at their faction level. They're potentially going to change how you summon for them. Whether that's making it easier or worse, I don't know. I mean, I can speculate based on Ken, which would make me think they would make it more difficult. But I would also like to think that a company can't be completely tone deaf. Knowing what happened with Ken, I'd like to think that any sensible company would look at that and say, we don't want that to happen again. And this would be a turning point where this was the one time this happened like this, and then in future things would be a little bit better, maybe better communicated, stuff like that. But all I'm trying to say is, watching this current spate of videos that for some reason is like becoming very prevalent. I mean, I understand that. I'm not like knocking anyone, you know. Traffic's high for this game. You want to put out as many videos as possible. It's quite difficult to put out videos on the core game when really, unless you're willing to do like character showcases and stuff, which personally I'm hoping to do more. I've done 3 so far. Unless you're willing to do that type of stuff, which can be a little bit harder, your more straightforward, easy content isn't really going to come from this. So it's easier to jump onto China and say, wow, look at this. Wow, look at that. Wow, look at this. I mean, it's easier to do. Again, I'm not dissing anyone for it. All I'm saying is, if you set your bar, your expectations to what you're seeing in those videos, then you can only be disappointed, right? You can. Either your expectations are met or you're disappointed. Like, you're not going to exceed your expectations and suddenly become happier. So maybe it's better to reserve that hype. Maybe it's better to retain a level of surprise, you know? All I'm saying is, if you base your gaming experience that we have on global against the other 2 versions, then inevitably you're just going to end up disappointed, you know? I am 100% wanting to clarify that I am not dissing people for making the content. I get it. I've done it myself. I've made content like that for Disgaea RPG. But again, the reason I did that is because you could directly correlate what was happening on JP with what would happen on global. You cannot do that with this game. So to me, there isn't the same space for those videos, because it's not going to be a true representation of what our player base can receive, you know. Anyway, guys, I do these TED Talks from time to time. I am quite an opinionated person. I like to share my point of view. And hey, I like it when people don't agree with my point of view. So if you don't agree with my point of view, tell me in the comments down below. Just actually discuss it. Don't say, hey, you Scottish idiot, what are you talking about? This is all nonsense. I don't care. Why did you just sit there talking shite? Blah, blah, blah. Right? That's not a comment. Comment and actually like have a discussion. 100% into those, respond to those, and I'll chat with you about those. And you know what, I just want to know if your opinion's different. I would love for our version to have the nicer things, we'll call them, that China has, right? But as it stands right now, we don't have anything to suggest that that is going to be our experience. So while that is the case, I just think you should set your expectations accordingly and try and, if you enjoy the game, try and have fun with what we have, right? If you think an event's too pay to win, don't pay. Do it free to play. If you come up against another unit and you think, you know what, that's a good banner, that's a good value banner, I'm going to summon, then summon, buy currency, whatever. Whatever matches your expectations, whatever you can glean enjoyment out of, that's what to do. But if you go into it expecting A and they deliver B, you're just going to be disappointed. So I'm just saying, temper your expectations accordingly, and hopefully you'll come out of all of this feeling a lot happier at the other end. Anyway, guys, Hayzink's done moaning for the day. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Peace.